Hello, welcome back, wonderful humans, to Board Game Dads, the podcast, episode June, or episode 3, episode June 2022. My name is
Yep.
Anthony.
My name is Eric.
And we are the Board Game Dads back here with another month. You know, doing this new style, Eric, really makes the months fly by even faster than they normally feel. I can't
Agreed.
believe that May is already over, but it is. And here we are at the doorstep of summer.
Yeah, it's actually Memorial Day weekend right now that we're recording this, and there's still fireworks going off all over the place back here.
Yep. Had some good weather for the back part of the holiday weekend, at least in our area. Started off a little bit stormy, but we're good to go now. So there's that.
It's kind of a boring month, you know. The nostalgia is basically the end of school,
Yeah.
right? And that's the best part about June is that school's out. You don't have to go to school every day, and now you got a couple of months to do absolutely nothing. Not nothing, but like go out and play and not have to
I'll
do
do
work.
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of fun stuff for sure. Yeah. And we should mention also that it is Pride Month, which was not a thing, I don't think, when we were in school. So we probably never heard of it until much later in life. But there's that. So happy Pride Month to all of y'all. And we're going to get going here with the last three. So these are the last three games that Eric and I have respectively played on each of our ends here. And I'm going to go ahead and start us off with a roll and write. No surprise there. Got Rolling Realms to the table. I had played this before, but it was my wife's first time playing, and she really enjoyed it. It is a roll and write that was born out of the pandemic. Jamie Stegmaier made a print and play version of this game that was basically taking, a game, all the games that he's been part of for Stonemaier games, and made them onto these different cards in the game that'll have different, dice rolling goals you're trying to get and where you're going to knock off your numbers and things like that. And it became very popular during the lockdown, and now it's a real game published. And the cool thing is, the more Stonemaier games that come out, the more cards that come out for this game as well.
Yep,
Uh, Eric, you have this one too, right?
I do. Yeah, we like this one. We don't own a lot of the games that the cards have.
Sure.
There's a bunch of games where we're like, oh, we don't have that one. Never played that one. Never played. Never. But we own a few of them. I think Wingspan. Obviously, everybody owns Wingspan. So there's not really that personal connection right there. But the game is fun. It's unique. It's
Oh yeah.
definitely something that we're going to continue in the rotation when we're ready to play a short game like a flip and right. Rolling Realms is going to get brought up so that we're going to continue to play it more. And we'll probably end up getting some of these, like, I think, mini expansions that include some of these other games. I know they were talking about doing games from other designers and other publishers and getting some of those games in there and some
Yeah.
cards. And that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. There's pretty endless possibilities, I think, for this game, and comes with really cool dice. Nice, huge,
Oh,
heavy,
yeah.
chunky dice
Yeah.
that have hex symbols as pips, which is an added detail that I really enjoy.
It's got to be one of my favorite dice in any game I've ever got.
Definitely.
And it's only a D6.
Yeah, but there's two of
Right.
them, so you get to clank them
Right.
together.
Right. That's true.
But yeah, a lot of variability in this game because you're picking three cards to play at each round. So you're not going to go through all the cards in one game, and even if you do get repeats, the same three combination may not always come out. So definitely some unique replayability. Change up your strategy there a little bit. You're up next, sir. What you got?
Let's see the slide so I know which one I'm talking about. Oh, right. Okay. So the crew, the quest for Planet Nine. This is actually the last game that we played. I just wanted to make
Aha.
sure we're going in the right order. So we just got this. We've never played this before, and we got it to the table, and we played, I think, the first four missions or so, and it was cool. It was rather simple for now. Um, it's unfortunately not going to get brought out real soon because we are in the middle of this 100 game challenge. But we put about 45 minutes to an hour into it, like we would do for a lot of games, and we're going to play it more. And I don't know if you've played this one, but it's cooperative trick taking. So
Hmm.
you basically, there's a few different numbered cards that you have to win, and at the beginning of the round, you figure out who has to win which sets or which of these tasks. And then during the trick, you have to win that one, and you have to play with no communication other than playing out a card to let everybody know that you have this one card, and it's the highest or lowest or whatever in your hand. And you have to win. You have to figure that the other people that are playing know what you're trying to do and say and are going to help you, and not just accidentally do something wrong and then we all lose. We have to
Right,
play.
right.
And we did play it two player, and so we have to have a third person. It's an AI named Jarvis, which like I like the name Jarvis because it seems like that AI name because it's from Iron Man. But
Mm.
come on, you know you could pick something else. It's pretty lazy.
You could rename it.
They could. Well, there's another one. There's the crew. Something about, I don't know, hidden treasures, underwater adventures, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if we get through this one and we like it enough, we will probably get the next one because that's more our theme anyway. We like underwater games way more than we like space games. But this was a fun one. I can see why a lot of people like it. It's cooperative. We're not huge on trick taking games because typically, if you play with two, you got to play with some sort of variant. But
Right.
the variant wasn't bad in this one because whoever's commander controls them and you get to make all their decisions.
So you mentioned that this might not get a lot of play right now because of your challenge. Explain what the challenge is that you're currently
Right, right. So
involved in.
we're doing 100 game challenge. So we're trying to play 100 different games this year, and we're doing rather well. It's not even the end of June, which would be the midway mark,
Mm.
and we're already at about 61. So
Okay.
we're gonna do this probably by like October. We'll finish it off with like Horrified or some Halloween games or something,
Hmm.
and then we'll be able to go back and play some of these other games like the crew quest for where we have to play it continuously for a little while.
Right.
But yeah, that was the last game we played.
Nice. All right. Next up for me is another blank and right. This is a flip and right though. Silver and gold. Silver and gold.
Copyright
You
infringement.
you get to write on the cards in this game, which is always fun. Basically, you're trying to fill out these different kind of like map grids on your cards, and you're doing so by flipping a card which has a polyomino Tetris style shape on it, and you X off those that pattern of squares on your card. And there's some other little symbols on each card, like there's some X's which let you cross off an additional box somewhere, which is cool. There's also coins, which give you straight up points, and then first person to get like 4 coins gets a bonus trophy, and there's other ones that go down in value after that. And basically, you're going to get points for completing each of these cards, and some of them have a bonus on them. I think there's 4 different color cards that vary in size as well. So, like the 14 point card is going to be harder to fill up. Uh, you know, as opposed to the 8.1. But there's some bonuses on these cards where you'll get like 2 points for every gray card that you filled out, things like that. So the points can add up pretty quickly in this game. It's a fast one though, and yeah, it's one of our favorite flipping rights for sure. Nice compact little package too, easy to travel with. Big fan of the silver and the gold.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. We have not played that one yet this year because we're trying to hold off on some of the shorter fun games so that later on, and we're not trying to blow through all of them in January and then getting stuck. So we've got a number of quick fun games that we can still use to rack up our numbers in the challenge.
Yeah, you could probably knock out a whole bunch of those in one day. Mm.
If we didn't have two kids running around.
Well, yes, yes.
Yep. Hey, we're
All right.
board game dads. This is what happens.
What's next?
Next, I believe, is Gizmos. All right,
Correct.
So it was my wife's birthday on May 27th. Happy birthday, Melissa.
Oh, happy birthday, Melissa.
And so I got her a few things, and I also was able to leave work a little bit early so I could also get her a board game. And I went to the board game store, which closes at 11 on Friday nights. This is our friendly local gaming store looking for games. And they do Magic on Friday nights, so they're open till 11. And so I stopped in there, had a little chat with the owner because you know how much I love to just talk about board games. And ended up picking up Gizmos, little engine builder using marbles. We played it. We really liked it. I got it because it was our first playthrough and we didn't really know what to expect or the frequency of what kind of cards that were going to come out. And I got my hands on a card pretty quickly that whenever I picked, and I picked a certain color, black or blue, I was allowed to take a random one from this giant thing of marbles. And that helped me really get a lot of energy in the game. And a lot of those cards didn't show up for Melissa for a while.
Mm,
So yeah, so it was kind of not a great first play for the person facing me
sure.
because I did really well, and we didn't really know. There's another part of the game where you can research and you can just take cards off the top of the deck equal to your level, look at them, and then either play one with the right amount of energy or hold it for later, and then you can play it once you get that energy. So we could have been doing that earlier on in the game, be like, oh, I got to get one of these cards too, just to say kind of level, but we didn't know that that was a thing. But
Okay.
after our first playthrough, we really liked it, but didn't have a great first experience. Like sometimes there's just that runaway leader, and that's not a fun thing to deal with.
I feel like that happens to you more than it happens to Melissa.
I think I probably just complain about it more.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah, that's Gizmos, man. It's a good one, and the marbles aren't glass. I For some reason I just thought they were glass. They're tiny little plastic marbles, and they
Hmm.
have like I guess like air bubbles inside, so they look pretty cool. And the thing that you drop them in that puts out like six at a time, you're constantly like just putting your hand in there just to move everything around, just to make sure that the sixth one comes out because they get stuck a lot. So that
Mm,
was kind of a pain. And the thing itself, it's kind of flimsy. We're not worried that it's going to fall apart during a game, though. It's not that flimsy.
okay.
But for 30-40 bucks, it's definitely a fun game. Pick it up
Nice.
if you
All
like
right.
engine builders.
Yeah. My last one here is an older one in general. I think it came out in 97 or 98, uh, but also very early acquisition for me in my uh, collection of being into this hobby. And that is a game called Guillotine,
Hmm.
the revolutionary card game where you win by getting ahead. And that is a very purposeful play on words because you are basically chopping people's heads off in this game. It even comes with, and I should have taken a picture of it, a little cardboard, guillotine with an executioner guy with that,
Right.
mask on, and you basically put that on one end of the table, and you line up 12 cards in a row, and these are all the people that are about to, get their heads chopped off, and they all have a point value. And on your turn, you can play some action cards that do all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is a game where you can mess with people big time, big time. You can alter the line, you can move nobles up or backwards, you can discard them, you can switch them around, you can steal things from people, you can get bonus points for having this many of a color. There's a lot of ways to score points in this game, and it's really silly fun. It's been a long time since we played this one, and a buddy was over the other night, and we he requested this one because this is one that we played a lot early on. So it was fun to get this one out. It's been a while. It's it's not the greatest game, but it is certainly fun. There's a little bit of discrepancy in some of the cards and stuff. You gotta like look some stuff up, like does this happen? But again, it's not a serious game by any means, so it's pretty lighthearted despite the crazy theme. I know there are other games that have this sort of put people in a line and take one from the front. I haven't played any other ones though, but this one I think is still available. If you can find it, pick it up. It's good fun. and that is guillotine, chopping off the heads. I think
Now,
you've played this with me before, probably a long time
yes,
ago.
I did. You did mention, you said you can mess with people a lot. No, you must mess with people. The
Well,
cards that you
yes.
get, you can't play them and not mess with people. This is the kind of game where everybody is going to just be messing with everybody else in order to win.
Yeah, this is definitely take
It's
that.
not it's non-optional. So the third most recent game that I have played is a game called Woodlands. This game, so I think we talked about this at some point, and we've had this on the shelf for a while. We haven't played it long enough to think that the game that we owned was actually a completely different game that I don't own, and I think you own it. It's a game that I feel like is featured in the woods, and you take like this little plastic sheet and you draw on it because you're trying to draw this map and not hit the turns, or you want to get all these special things. And it wasn't that game. It was a completely different game. In this game, you get like these square tiles that have like a straight line or an elbow turn, or different features of like pathway or woods, and you have to build this pathway in this I don't know, 9 by 9 grid with or I'm sorry, 3 by 3 grid with 9 different tiles, so that you get all these uh, keys and items that you can get, all the good things and positive things that give you points, but leave all the enemies like the wolves in the forest so they're not on the path. And so that's the game. So you have to put out your 9 tiles, and once you're done, you say I'm done. You flip it over, and then you can't touch it, and the other person has to, like, I don't know, however long it takes for one of those sand timers to go off, and then they have to finish. And then you count up your points, and you go on to the next one. And after a whole story of like 5 rounds or something, you see who got the most points in one. If you can do this so that you get like most of your points, and at one time you finish, and the next person isn't able to do whatever they want, they're going to miss out on like 6 to 9 points, and you
Yeesh.
probably are going to win the game. But yeah, I really want to know, what is the game? Do you know what the game I'm talking about is?
I don't know what. So the game that I have that is like that is Looney Quest, but the game
Looney
you're talking
Quest.
about is not Looney Quest. I
No,
think
it's
there's a
Woodlands. But the game that I thought we owned, which we called Woodlands, is actually a game that we don't own called Looney Quest that you own. But yeah,
uh,
this game was the one with the 9 tiles where you're putting them out there, and at the end, you have your tiles, and then you take this invisible sheet, like transparent sheet with all the things, and you put it there, and you see which items you got,
mm,
because you just kind of see it over here, and then everybody uses that to make their 9 tile grid, and that's it. But yeah, I highly recommend Looney Quest.
Looney Quest is a lot of fun. A lot of fun, and you get a lot of gameplay out of that box. There's a lot of levels.
Yeah, Woodlands is okay. Disappointing because we thought it was something else. So I don't know that that's the game's fault.
Definitely not. That's totally on you. All right. Would you like to take a poetry break?
I would love to take a poetry break.
All right. So Eric and I like to challenge each other with some board game related poetry.
Mine are usually not challenging. Your last one was pretty challenging.
Yeah, I guess we have different mindsets in this. You're just trying to write a nice poem, and I'm trying to stump you.
Yeah, I feel like it's really easy to stump. I'm trying to like give as much information. I want you to get it,
Mm.
but I don't want to make it that easy.
Right. Yeah. 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 It's kind of like the Dixit rule, right? You don't want everyone to get it,
Right.
but you want some people to get it. All right. You want to do haiku or limerick?
I have a limerick prepared.
Hit it.
All right. So I'm going first. Okay. Our flight didn't quite go as planned, and now we're left searching the land for the missing ship pieces, while the sun's heat increases and the
Mm,
winds try to bury us in sand.
good rhyming. That is Forbidden Deserts.
That is
No,
correct.
Yes.
Yep.
I was about to change the island, but no, the sun is
Yep.
the desert. Nice. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
There once was a man from Japan who had a great gardening plan, but soon he'd discover someone was a lover of all the bamboo in the land.
That's got to be Takanoko with
Yeah.
the Chibi's expansion with the little girl and the babies. Nice.
That's right. All right. Well done. Well done. It is holiday time.
Mm-hmm. Well, not just holiday, but June time. There's not a lot of holidays in June, but there are some days that are things. So let's talk about them.
Let's do it.
All right. So
All right.
June 1st.
Start off with the first.
June 1st is, according to the AccuWeather forecast, the start of hurricane season.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I am very, I don't know what the word is, very fond of that theme, right? Like just hurricanes and bad weather. And there's not a lot of games about that I can that kind of focus on that. So I would love for any viewers to throw down in the comments any games that they can think of that have that as a main theme. You know, there's games like you said, Takanoko, where you're rolling a die, you can get winds, you can get rains.
Yeah.
The only game that I could really think of was Robinson Crusoe and Castaways, where there's a big hurricane maybe or some weather events that are happening, and I can't say specifically that it happens in both, but that seems for a survival game it seems like a pretty common thing.
Yeah. Well, in Robinson Crusoe, there's all kinds of weather
Yeah,
for sure.
but there is one game that you're trying to escape off of an island before the hurricane gets there, so you're trying to collect wood to make a raft, get water, get food, and you're doing it cooperatively to a point. I think like 11 people can play this game. The game's called Galapagos, and you can play with a whole bunch of people. Like I said, I believe maybe up to 11, possibly 12. I don't know why 11 would be the top, but you want everybody to kind of go out and get enough stuff and be able to survive a certain amount of days and collect water and food for everyone. But not everyone's going to make it, and you're going to have to make some choices in the end as to who, if there's only a certain amount of food, who's going to make it off the island. And so you can get certain cards like a gun or a shield or some other things. And
there's pointless stuff too, which is
yeah,
hilarious,
yeah.
right?
We kind of house rule it where when you go diving for a card, you don't just get one card, you get like a couple of cards, you get to keep one.
Oh, okay,
I think
okay.
that makes it a little bit better than just, getting one card coming up with nothing. So we did play this one time, and you actually had two guns
I did.
and didn't technically play by the rules, but you pulled out one gun on me, and I had a shield, so I blocked it. And then you pulled the other gun out on Melissa, and she had a shield, so she blocked it. But you technically pulled them both out at the same time. And we were
I had
both
to.
like, all right, like we both got shields. And then we voted you off the raft. And I can't remember if we won or not, but I really hope we did. For this to be a good story, we won.
That was really fun. That was a
Yeah.
really fun experience. I had a great time with that game. And
So
it has a very unique um, mechanism with drawing those wooden balls out of that
yeah,
bag.
yeah. You're trying to get wood, so you reach into a bag, you pull out these wooden cubes, and you get wood for whatever's on there. No, are you trying to get
No,
fish?
they're spheres. They're balls, aren't they?
Yeah, I think you're trying to get fish, and you're reaching in, you're pulling them out, and then you get a certain amount of fish based on it.
Yeah.
You might use it twice.
I think it's used in two different ways.
I
Yeah.
think it is. One of them has fish printed on it. The other one, if you pull out however many wood you want to get, but one of them's a black one, and if you can pull
Right.
that one out, you got bit by a snake when you were going to get some wood.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Great
fun
game.
game. It's pretty cheap, but you can't really play this two players.
No. 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 This is a really good party game, though.
Yeah,
If you got a group, again, it's very group dependent, but man, you're gonna get a lot of laughs out of this one for
yeah.
sure. All right, sharing the day with June 1st is also and similar related to it, nature thing anyway. It's Reef Awareness Day, and what better game then Reef. So if you ever played Reef, it is an abstract game with some pretty cool plastic chunky little tiles, not tiles, tokens rather, that you're going to stack on top of each other on your little grid board in front of you, trying to make a certain pattern to match up to get points on these cards. So basically, when you play one of these cards, you're either taking those tokens that are on there, the colored reef little items, or getting the points on there. There's a lot of strategy involved because you want to cover things up, and it's only viewing from the top down. But some of the cards want you to have a certain amount stacked up. It's a cool looking game on the table. Has a lot of good table presence, and it's fun to play with as a toy because they stack up and they clank and they're fun. That's Reef.
I love the box cover art for this game. It makes me want to get the game. The
Mm.
theme underwater makes me want to get this game. I see the game. I see it's abstract, and I'm out. Done. I'm not. I'm not interested at all in abstract games. I would love
Yeah,
to play it, just to play it. But yeah, I'm not. I'm not just going to go out and get that game if it's on sale for $25 or something just because it has to do with underwater. But I've heard great things about it. It's just not me.
yeah, yeah. I get it. We did get this at pretty cheap actually at PAX Unplugged one year. Not
Hmm,
not the most recent one, but it was like $20 or something.
nice.
Whatever it was, we were like, "Oh wow, it's pretty good." So yeah, it's Reef. There's also a game called Reef Encounter, which I know nothing about,
Hmm.
but perhaps that'd be more up your alley. I don't think it's an abstract game.
We have a couple of underwater themed games. We actually did a video, and we'll get into this later. But we do have a game called Coralia that I think heavily involves a reef.
Mm, mm.
But all right, so our next day, this is a big one, folks. Let me tell you, June 3rd is National Donut Day.
Yum.
I love donuts. I mean, let's just take ice cream out of the equation, right? Because everybody loves ice cream. Out of all desserts, I think donuts and brownies are. Oh no, but then there's fudge. All right, see brownies, donuts and fudge are the top two, with brownies coming in a close third of just the best tasting desserts, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's like fudge brownies. I think you could put those two things together.
I'm talking like a block of fudge.
Oh, like boardwalk fudge.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha,
good
gotcha.
stuff.
I'm not going to argue with you. Donuts are delicious, and there is such a game for this occasion.
Do you have a favorite donut?
I have a couple of favorites. I overall am not a fan of filled donuts. I don't really like cream filled stuff, or like I don't really like jelly donuts. I'll be
Hmm.
honest. I'd rather have a just donut consistent around the whole donut, tasting each thing as I bite it without like worried about getting like one mouthful that's like all Boston cream or all jelly or something that like kind of falls apart or whatever. Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of the filled ones. I like glazed, and there are some pretty good bacon related
Hmm.
toppings that I've I've
Yeah.
enjoyed overall, to be honest.
Have you had some of these gourmet donuts, not like Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts, but like a nice little like mom and pop run donut shop?
Yeah,
Oh man, those are good.
yeah.
They don't fill them. They're usually just a donut made, and then they just put all the toppings. I think Duck Donuts, but that might
Duck
be a
donuts,
chain.
yeah. Duck donuts are really good.
Those are really good. I hate any kind of. I don't hate. I do not enjoy eating any kind of donut that's covered in powder.
Too
It's
messy.
just it's too much on my fingers and my beard and everything. I can't really handle that. I do love jelly donuts, Bavarian cream, Boston cream, anything like that is fine because it's as long as it's not covered in powder.
Mhm.
But also, I think my favorite donut is straight up the Simpsons donut. You know that strawberry frosted with sprinkles.
Okay,
That's it. That's my go to donut.
nice. Well, there's a game called Go Nuts for Donuts. This is from Game Rights, and it is kind of a set collection. I think you're getting points for different types of donuts, and there's some cards that are going to give you bonus points for having, X amount of different kinds, or probably sets of some other kinds. Pretty fast paced game, for what I can tell. one of those things where there's a pool of these cards out, in this case donuts, that everyone's trying to acquire, and you're going to play a card from your hand face down and then reveal it. And if you have the same thing as someone else, nobody gets that donut. So there's that. So it's one of those things where you're going to try to read your opponent's mind and see what they're going for or what they're not going for. That's go nuts for donuts.
It seems fun. Possibly not the greatest two-player game, but
Yeah, I would
yeah,
agree.
I would check this out in a 3 to 4 player game. This would be a cool thing to play at like a board game cafe,
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
order some donuts.
Yum. All right,
All
what's
right,
next?
so that was June 3rd. June 4th is of 2022 because it's not always the same day, but June 4th of 2022 is International Tabletop Day. So that's the holiday of our hobby.
Of our people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just an excuse to play at least one board game.
I feel like there really used to be a lot more hype around this as a day. And maybe I'm just out of touch with where it's being like celebrated a little bit, but I don't know if it's because Will Wheaton kind of started the attention of it and then he kind of fell off with that stuff. But I mean, I used to look forward to. We used to try to have a bunch of people over to play some games that
Yeah.
day. Yeah, I even had a poster made up one time. Oh, it's sitting right here.
I've never really done much other than attend one of your things or just made sure that we played a board game that day. Nice.
Yeah, we'd
But
write all the games down here.
I agree. It is something that has sort of fallen off. I mean, the last 2 years have been pandemic years. It's probably not a great idea to try to set up a giant meeting for people to play games, but
True.
hopefully we're past that now.
So play some games on that day, but play
Yeah.
games whenever you want. All
But
right,
it's a
what's next?
Saturday, so make an excuse if you weren't already planning on playing a game, just to participate in the games played on
Carve out some
International
time.
Tabletop Day.
Hmm.
All right, so that is June 4th, which is a Saturday, and June 8th is World Oceans Day.
Ah,
So we did a video for World Oceans Day, I believe, last summer,
hmm,
as part of our 7 themes of summer,
that's right.
which we picked 7 totally random things that we liked about summer, and more importantly, that we had games to talk about. So, so we chose like pirates and ocean and summer wildlife. They were all pretty close to summer themed. We didn't stretch too much, um, but yeah, that was fun. So go back and check some of those out. But yeah, we
Yeah,
had
we'll link those. We'll link those for sure.
a few games to talk about for National Ocean Day, whatever it is, World Oceans Day. Like the game Oceans,
Hmm.
which love the game, hate the box.
That's a top 10 list right there.
Yeah, that is Forbidden Desert would be there.
The tin.
All right, so that was June 8th, and June 11th this year of 2022 is the Belmont Stakes, which now we already talked about Kentucky Derby last month, so
Yeah, yeah.
brought up some horse racing games. Um, there will not be a Triple Crown winner this year, but it's another horse race to watch on TV and bet some money on. It's
There
fun.
you go.
All right. And then after that, we go all the way to June 19th, which will be not just Garfield the Cat Day.
So
Not
that's the first thing that comes to mind.
not just Father's Day, but also Juneteenth, which is a
Yes.
relatively new holiday. And you want to talk
Well,
about
I'd say the not that the day itself is new, but the fact is that it became a federal holiday, which
right,
is that's the
relatively
big
new
deal.
federal holiday.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So Juneteenth marks the you know pretty much official end of slavery, even though the Emancipation Proclamation was several months before that day in June. Basically, you have to keep in mind that back then in the 1860s, word didn't travel as fast as it does now, so it did take a while for those statements to get where they were supposed to. And even after the fact of that, Texas specifically, which is where this holiday started, was became sort of a safe haven for those who still own slaves. So a lot of slave owners fled to Texas. Basically, there was not a lot of Union troops in that area. So again, it took a while by the time the Union Army finally got to Texas to free the then, I don't know, still several 100,000 slaves. That was the day in June. So that's basically the, when it finally caught up to where it was supposed
Right.
to be. And even after then, I'm sure there was some outlying cases and things like that. It wasn't a snap of the finger, but yeah, people have lobbied for this to be a federal holiday for quite some time, and it now is. So we mark the calendars for that, and it's a great day to celebrate and commemorate as well. So that's Juneteenth for you.
Agreed. Also, which also happens to fall on Father's Day this
There
year.
you go. There you go.
And like I
Yep.
said, both of these holidays also happen to fall on Garfield the Cat Day. Which Garfield at this point, I loved Garfield growing up. He's mostly obsolete at this point because there hasn't really been a lot of new Garfield stuff. My daughter still loves watching Garfield on TV. So
Mm.
both of them. There's like two shows. There's the one from like the '90s, the cartoon, and then there's another one that you can find I think on Netflix right now. That's more of like a CGI kind of animated one.
Okay.
But
Okay. I think he's still in the Macy's parade, so there's that.
well, that's true. It's not a lot of games with Garfield. There's a couple like old games like Old Maid, but with Garfield, and I think it's like Odie Maid. And then there's a few other like you know maybe Spades or Hearts or something like that, like one of those card games with a Garfield theme. Probably
Mm,
Go
mm.
Fish, but nothing modern that I'm aware of.
Right. Right.
All
Before we
right,
go to the
so that
next one,
okay.
I got one more. I got one more to shoehorn in that I actually skipped over, even though
Mm,
I had it here on the list. That's June 6th, which is D Day. This is a World War II notable day, and Memoir 44, although I've never played it, is the quintessential World War II game for the modern board gaming hobby. I say that because there are a ton of very in-depth war games that are probably about World War II. I'm assuming that a lot of us have never heard of. But if you're talking about mainstream, you know, board game geek stuff, Memoir 44, from what I understand, has a lot to offer and is a very streamlined version of these other crazy in-depth games. So Memoir 44 still available. I see that a lot at Barnes and Noble. Check that out if you're looking for a war themed game, but nothing too crazy to celebrate June 6th, D Day.
I have not played Memoir 44. I haven't. I don't think played any war games unless you count like Hero Clicks or something like that. But
Probably
I
played
don't.
Risk.
Haven't played Risk in a long time. But all right, so that was June 6th. So we're jumping back from the 19th all the way to the 6th, and now forward to June 21st, which is the start of summer
All right, official.
2022. And like I said before, there's the end of the school year and the start of summer, which are pretty much the same thing for a kid.
Yeah.
The start of summer signifies the end of the school year. The end of the school year signifies the start of summer, and vice versa, yada yada. And it's just a great time to play and go on vacation. And I think this was actually one of the themes of our of one of our videos last year, just things to do, during summer break.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, that's that's a big one. I know earlier I said that there's not a lot going on in June. There's Juneteenth, there's Father's Day, which are on the same day. But the start of summer, that's something that's the start of a change of season. It only happens 4 times a year,
Yeah.
but it's really hot right now, and it feels like summer already started.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. All right. Anything else next?
No, well, I mean, so no, there
You had
isn't.
something. Hold on. There's something else on your list that you, for
So
some
there,
reason, really wanted to.
I didn't really want to talk about it. I just found it very interesting, and I thought people might like to know, or at least be reminded, that on June 28th in whatever year, um, is when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear, which was
Okay.
crazy, right? And so I wanted to throw that out there that also is something that happened in June.
And surprisingly, no board game to link up to that.
Yeah, I mean, you could do any game about eating or boxing, but I don't think biting is part of any boxing games.
Yeah, that's probably frowned upon.
Agreed. All right, so I guess now is time for the hotness.
It's getting hot in here.
All right.
All right, folks. So for the hotness, we take a look at Board Game Geek at the current moment when we decide to record or plan and
Yep.
see what the hotness is on there, and we cherry pick a couple things to talk about. So this first one, I was very excited. I had no idea about until I looked it up. This is, I guess, a younger person's version of the Quacks of Quedlinburg, but
Yeah,
could be enjoyed by adults as well, is what I'm getting from the very little information.
I
Here,
agree.
Quacks and Company, it's called. I don't even think it's available in the US right now. But basically, if you've played Quacks of Quedlinburg, I'm sorry, if you haven't played that game, it's a bag building game where you're trying to mix, a potion in your cauldron by pulling out tokens from your bag blindly. And then whatever number is on them, that's kind of like how many spaces around the track that you're going to get. And there's a whole bunch of other things that happen in that game, but basically the different ingredients do different stuff. So in this version, it appears that you are having sort of a race of, and it's not just horses, because on the cover is, I believe, a donkey and then a sheep. So whatever you're riding, so whatever animal is your choice,
And a
you're
pig.
trying to, yeah, look, there's a pig there, isn't there? Yeah.
Yep.
And then a cow as well. Interesting. So yeah, the same concept, I think, where you're pulling stuff out of a bag, which will determine how far along this racetrack that you go. And I'm assuming there's a little more to it than that, but this is an interesting concept. I kind of like this. Even if this is ages 6 and up or whatnot, this might be on the list, on the wish list.
I think I saw the people on the Dice Tower talking about this game. I thought they mentioned that this might be up for an award. I don't know if it's like
Yes,
Kinderspiel,
yeah,
or like the Dice Tower Awards or Board Game Geek or something, but it's definitely already up for an award somewhere,
yes, you're
nominated
right.
for something.
It was the Kinderspiel des Jahres, the younger category of that award for sure. Yep,
All right, yeah, this definitely seems like my first Quacks of Quedlinburg. So
yeah,
I definitely when this is age appropriate for my kids, we're gonna get this one.
for sure, for sure. Looking forward to that. All right, next up we got Cascadia. I have this game.
Cascadia. Yeah, I have this game too. We backed this and we've had it for a while now, and it was weird for me to see it on the hotness, and I didn't understand. And I guess I looked into it a little bit, and I found out that we backed it on Kickstarter, and I guess the second printing only came out recently. Is
That
that is
must
that
be
so?
it, because like you said, you saw it available all of a sudden on Amazon, and it wasn't before.
Right?
So I guess they must have done a second printing of this game, which I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So this is a fun one. My wife really likes this one. I think it's okay, but we've only played it a handful of times, and I don't think I really fully understood it the first time. And I know for a fact that a second or third time that we played it, was really tired,
Mm,
and I sort of had to like force my way through the game. And like you can't really get a good opinion of a game when you're just waiting for it to end because you just are tired. We have not played this yet. I don't think we've played this yet in our 100 games, and this is one that Melissa's been. So we do a thing where we each pick 3 games from the wall, and
hmm.
then we tell each other the three, and then we pick one of those 6. And she's mentioned this one a few times, so this one is gonna get played real soon. She's itching for it.
Yeah, I would play this game like very often. This is a game that when I first learned how to play it, and when I first played it the first time, I immediately wanted to go and tell people about it and show them how to play. That's how much I like this game, and the artwork is fantastic. You got Beth Sobel in there. Pretty good amount of replayability because there's different cards, different scoring conditions that come out for each animal. So the setup is going to be different for each game. I like that it's tile laying and
Oh,
not strictly that.
and those tiles look awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the I don't know what you call that, landscape artwork. It looks great. It looks really really cool and on point.
yeah, yeah. This game, when this is out and you build it up on the table, it looks awesome. All right, that's Cascadia back on the hotness. Loving it. We got one more shot here. The
Living
Living
Forest.
Forest.
I so apparently this game came out in 2021. Somehow it went completely under the radar for me and I missed it. But this seems like the kind of game I really love.
Yeah,
It's now it's not cooperative, which is fine. It's a competitive game. It's got push your luck, which I love. I'm terrible at it, but I love it. And it's got like cute animal artwork. And so I looked into this. I think it's a first time designer, but the publisher is Ludonaut, and they've done things like I think they publish Lewis and Clark and maybe Colt Express and some other stuff.
hmm.
And this just looks really cool. And I'm probably going to add it to my Amazon cart or pick it up from my friendly local game store if I find it there. And yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah. No, I definitely. If you gave me a list of games to bet on if you owned or not, I would definitely say that you had this game. So I think you're right. I think you should pick it up
Yep.
because then I get to play it too.
Well, so I'll base this if we're going to get this on when when my wife watches this video. Hi, Melissa. If if I'm there and she's like, "Oh yeah, that game looks cool," boom, it's going on the cart.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
So
That's fair.
if I get a positive review from her, just from us talking about it, the fact that we don't know anything about it, she just looks at this picture on the screen. For those of us who are watching this and not those of us who are listening only on podcast.
Hmm,
But if she just sees that picture, she's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that looks really cool." Boom, we're gonna get it,
I like the commitment.
and that'll be one of the 100 that we play this year.
All right, humans. So that is the hotness for now. We're about to wrap things up, but before we go, we do have one more poetry challenge,
Oh, we do.
right? It's
Okay.
haiku time.
I did not realize we were doing two. Let's get this queued up. All right, you're going first on this one then.
All right, all right. Look at the symbols. Be ready with your answer. Watch out for cascades.
Oh man, I don't know. One more time.
Sure. Look at the symbols. Be ready with your answer. Watch out for cascades.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I want to say Cascadia because we just talked about it, and if I don't say that and that's what it is, I'm gonna be really upset. It doesn't really sound like that. I want to say like a pandemic game where you got these cascading outbreaks, but
Oh, wait,
honestly,
hold on, hold on. Listen to this one line again. Be ready with your answer.
yeah, I don't. Maybe an unlock or exit game. That was the first thing I thought of because the symbols on like the little dial, but I don't have this one.
All right. It's anomia.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right on the tip of your tongue.
Wasn't thinking of a party game. No, no, was not on the tip of my tongue. It's in the back of my shelf. All right. So that was a nice difficult one. Here's a nice easy one, maybe. Ready?
I'm ready.
Don't make any noise. Listen for the enemy and blow up their sub.
Don't wake daddy.
Nah.
No, I'm just kidding. That is Captain Sonar.
Probably. We have only just the sonar version.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's the same thing.
basically the same thing. All
Nice.
right, so that was our board game poetry challenge. I'm
Yeah,
losing now. I'm gonna give you. Oh man, I'm gonna give you such a tough one next time.
I guess we got to get on the we got to get on the same page on this
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, maybe it was me. Maybe I didn't pick up on that one. But no, I wasn't thinking. I
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
thinking of like.
obviously, I'm trying to pick games that I know that you either have played or own, and we've played Anomia together a lot.
Yeah, that 1 week.
Really? Only one
Camping.
time?
Yeah, we played it a lot camping. I don't know that we
Well,
played
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
once after that.
All right, all right.
It's just it's not fresh on my mind because we don't ever pull it off the shelf because we only have me and Melissa playing games in this house, and we're not about to just And if we have a third or fourth person come over, we're not going to pull out a party game like that. We're going to play out something with a little bit of meat.
Mm, fair enough. All right, folks. That is June. Hope you have a great June.
I would like to know if anybody listening or watching got this one or whatever the last haiku you did that I didn't get. If anybody found those simple and it's just me, I'd like to know that was like,
Mm.
oh yeah, clearly that was Anomia. Like, how did you not get that?
I
And
should. Maybe I'll start posting these on Twitter or something and see if people guess them.
go for it. I've been not really so present in social media for a while. I tried for a while. It was just me going on there just to keep up with like a few people that I followed, and I haven't really been able to find the time.
Yeah, it's tough. There's not
Yeah,
time
I
for
think I'm
everything.
just going to follow a few of those people on my regular account. I don't even keep up with that because that's not going to fix anything.
Nice. Well done.
Yep. Social media.
Hey. All right, folks. Thanks for listening, watching, however it is that you are receiving this information. We do appreciate it. Be sure to comment if you are watching this on YouTube. Let us know what's going on in June for you. And maybe there's one of those random holidays that we didn't mention that you'd like to mention because you do have a board game connection to make to it. I'd like to see some missed opportunities. That's it. Until next time, my name is Anthony.
My name is Eric, and don't forget, I want to hear about some weather-related board games. Not just hurricanes, just weather-related.
Sounds good. Do your homework, folks. We'll see you next time.